Yo ho ho, the bottle of sake. How's it going, my fellow Homo sapiens? It's your boy Mike Hadou, and this is a Paleozoic breakdown. We're going to look at the new Paleozoics that's getting ready to come out, some Paleozoic rulings, and some combos to go with Paleozoics. This and more coming at you next. So it's pretty much been confirmed that we're getting the rest of the Paleozoics in our next big set. So yes, you know, I'm hyped up, and I thought, you know what, let's go ahead and do a video on the new Paleozoics and how it's going to change how we play Paleozoic. So what we want to do here is go ahead and look at the new Paleozoics and talk a little bit about their effects. So we're going to read the new part of their effects, and we're going to only read the summoning condition one time. So let's go ahead and look at the first one. So the first one we have here is Paleozoic Marmara. Very difficult names to pronounce. And this one says, send one trap card from your deck to the graveyard once per chain. When a trap card is activated while this card is in your graveyard, you can special summon it. Special summon this card as a normal monster. Aqua type, water, level 2, 1200 attack, 0 defense. This card is not treated as a trap card. If summoned this way, it is unaffected by monster effects. Such a great part. Also, banish it when it leaves the field. This card here is going to be awesome for the main reason you're going to be able to send those trap cards you really don't want to have in your hand to the graveyard. Not just that, fill your graveyard up with Paleozoics instead of milling half your deck. So the next Paleozoic we have is Paleozoic Lachena, and its effects reads, target one banished card, return it to the graveyard. Once per chain, when a trap card is activated, you can special summon this card from the graveyard. Now, what I like about this card here is it allows you to get your banished Paleozoic cards back, but not just that. I mean, Treat Toad is a thing. Treat Toad will be live very, very soon. The soonest is next month, and this is going to allow you to get those frogs you banish back to the graveyard so you can go off with even more plays. This card here is going to be really, really, really good. Then we have Paleozoic Dominicans, and in effect reads, target one face-up card on the field, discard one card, and if you do, banish that target. Wow! Now, what I like about this is it allows you to get rid of those face-up spell cards or trap cards that can't be destroyed, or those monsters that can't be destroyed, or maybe they have a monster or something you really don't want them to put in the graveyard. You want to banish it so they can't use it later on. This card here is going to be strong. Not just that, it allows you to discard any card. So you don't have to discard a Paleozoic to pay cost for this. You can discard whatever card you have in your hand. And next we have the Paleozoic Iodine, and it effects read, target one face-up monster on the field. It gains 500 attack and defense until the end of the turn. Now this card here, I feel like it's one of the weaker Paleozoics. The only reason I really do run this is sometimes to give something a little bit stronger defense, a little stronger attack and defense, maybe doing damage count, or just to special summon it out the graveyard. Just another Paleozoic to basically get in the graveyard. Now, the biggest Paleozoic, in my personal opinion, the best Paleozoic is going to be Paleozoic Apobenia. This Paleozoic here is hands down, in my personal opinion, is the best. This Paleozoic here is going to speed up the deck. It's going to change how you play the game, period. So, let's go ahead and read it. It is a Paleozoic Aqua Monster, rank 2, 0 attack, 24 defense. So it has a big booty. It requires only 2 level 2 monsters. Unaffected by other monster effects. You can activate Paleozoic trap cards from your hand. Right there, that changes the game. You no longer have to set your Paleozoic trap cards and wait till your opponent's turn. You can go off as long as you have Paleozoics in your hand. If this card has a trap card as a material, it doesn't mean both of them have to be trap cards. You just need one trap card as a material. you can detach one XYZ material and add one Paleozoic trap card from your deck to your hand. You can only use the effect of Paleozoic Opabenia once per turn. So the once per turn is only adding from your hand. So you can only add once per turn to your hand. However, you can play as many Paleozoic trap cards you want from your hand, as many cards you have, even on your opponent's turn. This card here is extremely strong. I can't wait. This card here is going to be extremely awesome. So let's go ahead and take a second and look at some Paleozoic rulings. Alright, so what we want to focus here is focus on Paleozoic rulings. With the rest of the Paleozoics getting ready to get released in the next set, there's going to be a lot more people playing Paleozoics. And not just that, I've been seeing a lot of Facebook posts asking what happens when you activate a trap card. So let's go ahead and explain some of these. So I want to show you a few rulings and a few scenarios. So let's go ahead and hop right into it. So the first thing is, let's say we're on our opponent's end phase and we flip over Jar or Greed. So what ends up happening is starts a chain. So we have chain 1. And then let's say we have Paleozoics in the grave. What's going to happen is we're going to choose a Paleozoic and it's going to start chain 2. So chain 1, chain 2. Your Paleozoic is going to resolve backwards. So your Paleozoic is going to special summon and attack or defense. Let's go ahead and special summon it in attack mode. And then we're going to draw our card. So that's what happens when you activate a trap card. Now let's go ahead and say, well, we activate Jar Greed. Can you special summon multiple Paleozoics out of the graveyard? No, only one per chain. So if a trap card activate, you can only special summon one Paleozoic off that trap card. Now let's say our opponent summons a monster or something. Let's say our opponent does something. So it's on their turn, their opponent summons a monster. Well, we play it like this. We'll play Floodgate Trap Hole. Starts chain 1. We activate Hallucinogenia in the graveyard. This is chain 2. Then we can say, well, chain 3, activate Jar of Greed. And then we can say, well, we want to activate Canadia in the graveyard, chain 4. So what ends up happening, it resolves backwards. So Canadia is going to special summon and attack a defense. We're going to draw our card. Hallucinogenia is going to special summon and attack a defense. And then our opponent monster goes face down. Alright, so what we want to do here is show what happens in a Paleozoic mirror match and just a little bit of rulings on how it works in a mirror match. So what we have here, we have a few Paleozoics in our graveyard and our opponent has a few Paleozoics in their graveyard and they have a nice little field with some back row, including us, we have our own back row. So let's say, once again, we're on our opponent end phase and we flip over Jar of Greed. What this does is starts a chain. So we have chain 1. Now, what's the biggest thing people have to understand is your opponent has the right, they have the option to respond to your card. You can't play this, you can't play Jar and say, well, I'm going to special summon a Paleozoic monster. Your opponent has priority on response. So chain 1, your opponent gets to respond. So your opponent can say, well, I wish to respond to that. Chain 2, they get to special summon their Paleozoic monster out of their graveyard. You do not get to special summon a Paleozoic out your graveyard off your own trap because they have already special summoned one. Only one Paleozoic per trap. Only one Paleozoic per that chain. So, after a special summon, you draw a card for your Jar of Greed. Now let's say they summon something. So let's say they summon Rodent Totem in attack mode. I play Floodgate Trap Hole. I want to book that puppy. They can respond to it. Before I can respond, they get the option to respond. So they're going to say, well, they're going to activate the Paleozoic Canadia in the graveyard. So that's chain 2. I can say, well, okay, chain 3. Guess what? They get to respond again. So if they have another Paleozoic, they can special summon another Paleozoic. Now, let's say I activate a trap card and they wish not to respond to this trap card, then I can special summon. I can go off and I can say, well, activate Jar of Greed, response. They have no response. Well, activate for chain 2,
hallucigenia to special summon out the grave.
So now, since we have the Paleozoic rulings out of the way, let's go ahead and look at some Paleozoic combos using Tree Toad and Apabenia.
Alright, so what we want to do with this one is show a quick Paleozoic combo. I think when Treat Toad come out, a lot of people are going to have the idea of going directly into Treat Toad immediately as fast as possible. But me personally, I find that it's better to kind of set up a board before actually going into Treat Toad sometimes. So what we're going to do here is that we have ourselves our graveyard. So let's go ahead and move our graveyard above our deck. We got 3 cards in our hand, and we got some cards set on the field. Now, you don't have to have it perfectly like this. This is just to kind of give you an idea. So what we're going to do here is we're going to look at Roten Totem. We're going to banish a frog, Duke Frog, and we're going to special summon Roten Totem in defense mode. Then we're going to activate one of our set spell or trap cards. And let's see here. We're going to activate our Paleozoic monster, Marilla? I mean, I heard the name is so complex. And what this Paleozoic does, it allows us to send a trap card from my deck to the graveyard. Now we're going to respond to that. So chain 1, chain 2, we're going to special summon a Paleozoic in attack mode. And then we're going to go send a trap. So what type of traps I like to send is traps I don't want to get in my hand often. Traps I really rather have in the graveyard. So we're going to send to the graveyard. And this one basically increases Paleozoic, it increases monsters by 500 attack and defense. And then we're going to accede into Apabenia. Now, Apabenia is awesome. So one thing about Apabenia is you have to have a trap card to basically detach to search. But not just that, it allows you to play your Paleozoic trap cards from your hand. So it really speeds everything up. So what we're going to do, we're going to detach. You want to make sure you detach the non-trap monster so you can search. So we're going to go for a Paleozoic that's going to benefit us some type of way. So we can really go off, so we can play it immediately. So let's see here. We're going to go for Paleozoic Marmira. And now we can play a Paleozoic from our hand. So we have 4 cards in hand. We're going to activate Paleozoic Lyncha. And what this card does, it allows us to take a banished card and put it back in our graveyard. So we're going to target. So we're going to target our banished Duke Frog. Effect of a Paleozoic. Special summon. Put the Duke Frog back in the grave. Then we're going to use Roten Totem. Effect. Banish the Duke Frog again. To special summon Roten Totem. Now we'll go into Treat Toad. And now we have a nice little combo. But let's say we want to really go off here. So we can play Hallucigenia on our Paleozoic monster, Apabenia, to half his attack and defense. It really doesn't matter because he has 0 attack, but we want to half it anyway. To special summon another Paleozoic out the graveyard. And once again, we're playing all this from the hand. We're going to play another Marmira. Activate, special summon another Paleozoic. And let's send another Hallucigenia to the grave. And then we're going to activate our last Marmira. Once again, special summon another Paleozoic out the grave. We're going to send a Paleozoic Pika. And then we can go into another Accede. And let's go into the big Paleozoic Accede monster. Right here, and we have a really legit board. Because once we pass our turn, we still have 1 mystery face down spell or trap card. And once we pass our turn, guess what? Treat Toad's going to special summon another frog from the deck to the field so we can negate things.
So to come to our conclusion, Paleozoics is going to be very strong. It was already strong without Treat Toad. Now with Treat Toad coming in the game, is going to really help the deck out so much more, especially with the water barrier statue in this deck. Paleozoics is going to be extremely a powerhouse, and there's going to be a lot of people playing it. But that's all I have for you today. Please rate, subscribe, and comment. It really helps the channel. Thanks for watching. Matane.